Is there anything in particular you'd like to see in the budget that you think would be helpful or desirable for business or for the economy?
Yes, so they reverse everything they've done so far, and go back to seeing what can create growth in the economy. They talk about growth. If we look back at the 70s, because I think we're in a very similar period now, where everybody thinks the UK is finished, there's no future, managing decline, and so on. And this was the case in the 70s. Mrs. Thatcher came along, and what did she do? She created an entrepreneurial spirit in the country. She reduced taxation significantly. We were at 98% on so-called unearned income, and 83% on earned income as the top rate of tax. This was reduced to 40%. She did away with all the labour legislation, the power of the unions, and so on, and sort of enabled an entrepreneurial culture to develop in the country. This is slowly being ruined over since. The first 3 years of the Blair government, they didn't change anything on the economic front before Brown got going, the socialist approach. At that time, in 2000, the private sector was 66% of the economy. Today, it's around 50%. So the state has taken over. And this is the problem in continental Europe as well. Labour legislation has got more anti-employer, and now it's going to get even worse with this new workers' rights bill or labour bill, whatever they call it. It's going to put more bureaucracy into businesses, more time wasted on things that are not important for the business. And it's going to help the scivers. It's not going to help good staff. You value good staff. It's the bad staff who take advantage of the law as it is at the moment. That it's not as if we're in a market where there's only one type of job available. There are plenty of jobs around. If someone leaves, doesn't like one company, they go and work for another. So it's completely unnecessary and will be very counterproductive. There's no, that we've got 500,000 civil servants more than before COVID. The economy has been stagnating basically for a long time. They pin their hope on infrastructure investment by government and housing. But there's no evidence that it actually will get the economy moving. They've snuffed out the entrepreneurial spirit because before the first budget, they started talking the economy down, all the things and the speculation about the taxes they would bring in and so on. So no one did anything until the budget. The budget made things worse. The increase in national insurance contributions has affected the job market significantly. And now they've done the same thing again. They've been floating tax ideas and so on. Again, no one does anything. Yeah. It's until they see what has happened. So they've effectively created a destructive approach to the economy, which won't recover until you have different policies brought into being.
So undo everything you've done is the message and start again.
Yes, and start
and
looking
be more
at
entrepreneurial.
how they can cut government expenditure. And every attempt they've made on welfare, for example, we've got 7 million people of working age who are not working. This disability, the whole disability benefit, mental health, so it's doubled since before COVID. COVID was a disaster actually from that point of view because people got used to doing nothing and being paid for it. And that's, that will gradually change, but it won't change with the approach that this government is taking.
So it needs a big change of direction, you're saying?
Yes, and they're going to make things a lot worse. at the end of their term, because they have a huge majority in Parliament, even though they didn't have a huge majority in the country, they had 33% of the vote.
1/3 of the vote and 2/3 of the MPs, I think, is the statistic.
And
So that's
it won't change. And I think things will be worse then, and maybe there's a chance of a revolution. I don't mean a bloody sense. I mean a
well, we'll see.
revolution.
I feel big changes coming, sort of big disruptions. It feels are coming for all sorts of reasons. One of them potentially political. So one other thing I'd like to ask you is, you studied at Oxford University languages, I believe.
Yes.
But then after that, you went to learn accounting. You qualified as a chartered accountant. So
Yes,
why did you do that? And has that helped you in your business journey?
It was a sort of business training in a way, rather than going to business school. It was the most boring 3 years I've ever spent in my life, I think.
You're not encouraging other young people at this point, but it was useful, was it?
And in fact, I used to go to I had myself some velvet suits made, and I used to go to parties and say, guess what I do for a living, you see. No one would ever guess, of course. No, it's been extremely useful because I become quite numerate, understand balance sheets, and accountants can't tell me what to do.